You get to lead an outstanding department in an exceptional community with tremendous resources, leading talented employees, and meeting high expectations. That should be exciting for anybody, but it certainly is hopefully motivating to people who want to make a difference. This is an opportunity to help the future of the Frisco Fire Department, and you're inheriting something that's really good and get to help make it even better. It's a really exciting opportunity that I hope a lot of people will be interested in.
Hello and welcome to The Clear Voice, brought to you by Clear Career Professionals. I'm your host, James Groom. Today's episode is a PositionCast highlighting the City of Frisco's search for its next fire chief. Joining us today is the recruiter for this opportunity, Clear Career Professionals President Michael Boese. Michael, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, James. This is a really exciting podcast for us. Frisco is one of those cities, I'm sure you've heard something about Frisco, Texas. They have a lot of things going on there. It's one of the major sports venues of the world with all that they have really brought into the city. To be partnered with this city, it's a real honor. And I'm really excited to be talking with our guests today who are part of the leadership team for the city.
Well, I'm excited too. And I remember the last time we were in Frisco together, we actually were on a tour of Frisco while we worked at a smaller city, and they were showing us how they've grown from very small to what they are now, which is huge and amazing.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the spirit that I've always been really impressed with is although they've been such a busy city, they've always invested in other government professionals. And I think that's the teamwork we're going to hear about today from these gentlemen when we're talking about the fire chief position is how important that team aspect is.
Joining you with this recruitment is one of our vice presidents, Danny Kistner. He's not here with us today, but Danny's got a long service history in the fire industry, doesn't he?
Yeah, Danny has done some really great work in the fire sector. He's part of the National Fallen Firefighters Association and really is passionate about improving firefighter health and wellness throughout the country. He's been one of our vice presidents almost from our inception 4 years ago and really has had a huge impact on the fire chief recruitments that we lead, but also on the consulting piece, getting in and helping fire departments make sure that they're doing everything they can to make sure the community is safer and that they're doing the right things to keep their people healthy and safe.
Let's bring on our guests from the city. This is the biggest slate of guests that we've had on, so I'm going to play traffic cop a little bit and then let these guys talk about this opportunity. But we've got the city manager, Wes Pierson, the interim fire chief, Clay Carpenter, and the deputy city manager, E.A. Hoppe. Gentlemen, welcome to The Clear Voice.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Well, we're excited. How's everything in Frisco today?
It's about 98 degrees. It's a little warm, but that's the going rate for the state of Texas in August, in the middle of budget season. So there's a lot of interest in what we're going to be doing for another year. Generally, we're in a very good position. People would love to have our problems for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Wes, I want to start with you. Tell us a little bit about your background, what led you into local government, and how you got to Frisco.
I started out in the private sector, actually. Decided I needed to get a master's degree, ended up getting a master's in public administration in a program that emphasized public-private partnerships. I was fortunate enough to start my local government career working for the International City-County Management Association. And because of that, I was able to make connections with city managers across the country. I had an opportunity to actually build some really strong relationships with city managers here in Texas. They encouraged me to come out here, and so I did. I actually started with the city of Allen almost 17 years ago. And from there, I went to Corpus Christi, Texas, where I served as an assistant city manager, became a city manager, and served for the town of Addison for almost 7 years. And then from there, I came here to Frisco, and I've been here for 4 years this month.
That's awesome. And EA, I know you said you wanted to be in a support role during this podcast, but we need to know how you got to local government and how you got to Frisco.
I started my career in Richardson, Texas, just south of here. One of the other North Dallas suburbs. Right out of undergraduate economics and finance background, started as an intern in their finance office. Was there for about 10 years, working my way up into the city manager's office. Originally, my wife and I are from Central Texas. There was a city manager opportunity that came up in my hometown in Bull Verde, just north of San Antonio. We had a young family at the time, decided to move down that way and be a little closer to family while we had young boys. I was there for 4 years and then had the opportunity to transition to Kerrville. I was in Kerrville for 7 years, 5 years as the deputy city manager and 2 years as the city manager. Had a great experience there, a very full service city. And then 3 years ago, had a wonderful opportunity to be able to come up to the North Texas Metroplex and work for a fantastic community, Frisco, Texas.
That's great. And Clay, tell us about you. What brought you to the fire service, and tell us about your current role and how'd you get to Frisco?
Sure. My last year of high school, I wasn't exactly sure what path I was going to be taking, but I did have an older brother who became a firefighter, and he enjoyed it and enjoyed serving the community he worked for, and kind of convinced me to go that route until I figured out what I wanted to do. I wouldn't say it was initially a calling for me, but I took his advice, started, going through the certification process for firefighter, EMT, and paramedic, and was fortunate to be accepted here as a volunteer here in Frisco. In 2001, I started volunteering, and towards the end of my paramedic schooling, I got hired. And shortly after becoming hired, it kind of became a calling for me as I started experiencing what the fire department is all about in Frisco, Texas. I've now been here 25 years. I've kind of gone through each of the ranks and got to experience just about every position within the fire department. It's been a great ride. City of Frisco has been great to me. Currently, I'm sitting in the interim fire chief role, but my traditional role, or the role I would normally be in, is assistant chief over operations. Kind of sitting here, hoping to shepherd in the next fire chief and get that person started and see what lies ahead for us.
Clay, when you are training these leaders that are in the Frisco Fire Department, what is the general leadership philosophy that you guys run with?
There's a couple of them. Citizens first. That's kind of where we've been since I've been here. It was instilled in us in the first fire chief that I worked for, and that's kind of the strategic direction we're always trying to point our compass to. That's kind of our guiding light, is if it's good for the citizens and it's good for the city and it's good for us, that's where we want to be.
Wes, when you look at the department heads in your city, what's your leadership philosophy when you're working with them?
Yeah, I try to make sure that people know that I care. That's the starting point. And because they know that I care, they know that I'm going to give them my best. The biggest thing for me is to build and maintain trust. It's something that I give to people. And so it's not necessarily something you have to come and earn. I give it. And then with that trust, we have the opportunity to do some really amazing things. I look at trying to lead by example. Certainly, I hold myself to high standards, and I hold others to high standards as well. I want to make sure that people know that if they have ideas or they feel like they need to do something that may be different than the way we're currently doing it, that we can certainly have those conversations and find a better way to build the mousetrap, so to speak. I also try to make sure that everybody understands that they're supported and that, again, as Clay mentioned, that we're all working together as a team to serve our residents. That is the main thing. Our residents are our mission. We try to make sure that everything that we do improves their life, is something that they can trust is in the best long-term interest of the community, and that everybody on our team is going to work together as a team to make special things happen.
Thank you. E.A., how would you describe, from these candidates that are going to come in, how would you describe the culture of the City of Frisco's organization?
It's a community that has high expectations, both for itself and for the city organization. And I think it has demonstrated, over the last 25 years of just a truly extraordinary growth that they've executed at a very high level in their ability to, quite frankly, deliver a community that is just head and shoulders above most communities across the country. And there's definitely a culture of success and execution and delivering top-notch results that permeates the organization. There's a really strong sense of teamwork because it takes multiple departments to be able to do that. Obviously, it's the services we deliver, especially in a very dynamic community. There's an expectation of cross collaboration that is absolutely essential.
James, if I may add to that, I would say, and please, Clay, chime in as well, but I think there's a really great connection between our organization and the community. So it's not us versus them or anything like that. we're all connected in really important ways that allows people to not only trust, but then they feel like they have a voice and they can connect with the city organization in a meaningful way that actually demonstrates or will result in positive outcomes because they're able to be connected and provide input.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And at least from the fire department standpoint, we're very visible in the community, not just with the services we provide as far as emergency response, but also interacting with the community. And we have a very nice facility called Frisco Fire Safety Town, where school students throughout the year come out and visit and learn everything there is to know about safety. It's quite a program, quite an experience, but that's just part of various ways that we're very visible and able to interact with the community, gather input, and make them feel like they're being heard when they're providing that input.
Yeah. Do you find that community education piece that a lot of departments don't have the facilities for and the resources to provide? That's such a vital thing for you guys, I would imagine.
It's incredible. I think we hit our 250,000th visitor earlier this year. That's quite an accomplishment, but yes, it's one of our most prized pieces of what we do at the fire department, and we're supported well in our community education efforts, and anyone who's able to visit that facility would probably be able to attest to that.
That's amazing. Wes, when you think about the fire chief coming in, how do you expect them to blend in with the team, with the city manager's office, working with the city council and the rest of the executive leadership team?
Yeah, I think it's really important for anybody that comes into our organization to spend time listening and learning. There's nothing that's going on in Frisco that needs to be blown up or undone. It's really understanding what's working well, why, and then seeing where there are opportunities to improve. We have an ethic within how we operate of always trying to find ways to do better. Listening and learning and understanding first is really, really important. And then after that, it's building really strong relationships with your fellow department heads and with the members of the city manager's office, building really strong relationships with the men and women in the fire department so that they know who you are and where you stand and how you communicate. Those are all really important. Building relationships in the community, making sure that people know who you are and that you're here as part of a team that is focused on the main thing, and the main thing being serving our residents. I think a really important aspect of that is being able to demonstrate humility. I think confidence is really important, but doing that in a way that is demonstrating that it's not about you and it's about the team and it's about the mission is really important as well. All of those things are part of what would be necessary for somebody to come in and to demonstrate so that they're really showing that they are part of Team Frisco.
So what you're saying is inside the organization, there's no fires for them to put out.
Well, that's a great metaphor. I would say that there are no fires, but you could probably mow the grass. You could probably find a different shade of paint to put on the wall. That's true, I think, of most places. The other thing is, and I think this is what's really exciting, is that if you find an opportunity to do something we're doing better and more effectively, then we're open to having those conversations. So it's not, hey, this is what we've done forever and we'll always do. It's, this is what we do. And if there's a better way to do it, then let's go see if it makes sense and works. And if it makes sense and works for Frisco, then let's go try something new. We're not afraid of doing things differently or innovating. We just want to make sure that what we do is smart and it makes sense for Frisco.
And I would guess that at Frisco, within reason, if there was something that is worth trying, that there's probably the resources to actually make those changes.
I would agree. Let Clay to speak to that a little bit.
Sure. So I've been sitting in the assistant chief role for a few years now, and just recently kind of this acting/interim role. And I've felt nothing but support from EA and Wes. I've actually brought some pretty big ideas to them. They were very receptive to those ideas, and we made a few changes since I've suggested them. The support that I've received, I think, will translate into the next fire chief, and I'm excited to see what ideas the next fire chief brings us, because as Wes said, nothing's broken. It's just if there are opportunities to do things better, we're willing to listen and make whatever suggested changes if they're smart for Frisco.
Clay, how important is the next person coming in to form those relationships with the city manager's office, other department heads, the community, all the people that are stakeholders?
Sure. I mean, I think that's one of the most critical components of being a fire chief, not being an actual fire chief myself, but sitting in this role. I have the sense of knowing what it's like to be in a critical position as the assistant chief, but even more in the interim fire chief position. My interactions with EA weekly and Wes for the times that I get to be with him, they've been able to demonstrate to me how they're able to effectively support what I'm trying to accomplish in this interim spot. I don't see them making any changes for when the new chief comes as far as how they're doing business. I suspect they'll support the next person just as much as they're supporting me, and I'm ready to see that in real time. I'm excited to see what caliber of candidates we'll be getting throughout this process.
Well, and we're going to lean on you really hard on this next one because, Michael and I both come out of the police world, so we don't know a whole lot about fire operations. But if you were sitting here listening to this and thinking about applying, tell us all the nuts and bolts, the staffing, the structure, how many stations, apparatus, all the capabilities. I'm sure it's a big operation. What is the next chief looking at managing?
Sure. So when I started here, we had 3 fire stations. We had just actually opened our 3rd fire station. Today, we have 10 fire stations. More to come. We're still growing. We have 10 engines. We have 7 ambulances. We have 3 trucks and 1 heavy rescue. In totality, we have 299 positions. 265 of those positions are sworn positions. So we're really proud of our rescue program. That's kind of one of the big things that we like to talk about, but also of our training division. We have our own public safety training center where we spend a lot of time with our folks and going through different, drills and repetitions. I talked a little bit about Safety Town, but that's another piece of the department that you can't ignore. I'm going to brag a little bit here, but our fire prevention program is just, it's unmatched. What they're doing, keeping up with the growth that we have here in Frisco and being able to support businesses when they come in and help them get established. You're not going to find a fire prevention program better than here in Frisco. And then also finally, we run our own fire fleet division. So we have 5 employees there, and we're actually getting ready to build a new fire fleet building. So that's kind of on the horizon when we talk about growth. But we have 3 master EVTs and the 4th one trying to become a master EVT, which is, from what I understand, is not very typical of your average city. So across all divisions, I think we're doing it right. I think we're doing it smart, and I think we're effective. And the next chief, I feel like, is going to come in and go, you guys really have it together. What an amazing opportunity. What can I search to find to enhance what you're already doing? We'll see where he or she takes us.
Yeah, that's not always the opportunity that people get. Sometimes it's much, much more difficult than that.
Yeah, I kind of to reiterate what we said earlier and to put a pin on or a fine point on what Clay just said is this is not a department that's in need of rescuing. This is a complex, high-performing group, and there's an opportunity to help make it better. And this is really exciting. Just the things that are happening in Frisco are exciting, but the opportunity to make a difference in a community like this with the resources that are available doesn't come along very often.
What are the other future things that you guys are looking at on the horizon? I know you mentioned one thing, but what else is coming into the fire department in the next couple of years?
Sure. So right now we are designing fire station number 11. So we're hoping to break ground on that sometime next year. Right now we have it slated for a fire engine only house that's going to serve that area of the city best. Won't be one of these Taj Mahal type fire stations. It'll be more of a smaller station, probably more of a homier feel. But also, as I mentioned, our fire fleet services building, we're hoping to break ground on it very, very soon. We have that coming. But we're also already talking about plans for Station 12. As I mentioned earlier, we have 3 truck companies in the city. We have a 4th truck coming at the end of next year that we'll be taking delivery of. So we'll be putting that in service. We have 7 ambulances in service right now. We're hoping to put an 8th ambulance in service within the next 2 years. We're not slowing down. We're still increasing our service to meet the demand of the city as it continues to grow. What I've seen most of my career being here for 25 years is the growth has kind of gone horizontally throughout the city. But as we're starting to reach build out, I guess you could say, now I see us building more vertically. And the fire department has to change with those evolving needs, right? Very proud of what we do in our training, at our training center and our training division. And that's just one of the examples of how we're adapting to the evolving needs of the City of Frisco.
Can you talk a little bit? I know you guys keep all kinds of stats and metrics. I don't think you mentioned ISO yet. Anything like that the next chief might want to know?
Sure. So we just received ISO 1 rating. Actually, we've had ISO 1 rating since I believe 2001, and we've been able to maintain that throughout the year. So we just got recertified in that. We also do have accreditation through CFAI and the Center of Public Safety Service Excellence. We just also reaccredited for that. And in addition, in case you're wondering if there's more we could have done, we also got our CAS accreditation for our ambulances services. So to have all three of those is kind of rare. I believe there's less than 10 in the state of Texas, maybe 7 or 8 cities that are able to accomplish something like that. But it just kind of goes to show the forward thinking that we have in the fire department here in Frisco and how we're able to maintain a level of service that our citizens and visitors have come to expect when they're here.
How does the command staff work together in the fire department, and what does senior leadership team need from the next chief?
Our senior command, I would call that our command staff. That's our battalion chiefs, our deputy chiefs, our assistant chiefs, and then, of course, the fire chief. We're a pretty close-knit group. We meet monthly, all of us together, and report out on either the month before or special projects that we all have going on to make sure we keep that communication loop going. I would say we're a collaborative bunch. I think we're all excited at the prospect of what the next chief might bring us and what kind of a communication style this next chief has. We're all excited to see how the next fire chief may bring us even closer together and build strategies with us to be even better than we are today.
It's great. I'm not sure who to direct this to, and I guess all you guys need to weigh in, but I want to talk about the community itself. Frisco's got a whole lot of things going on. If you think about what a new fire chief candidate may want to know about Frisco if they don't know a whole lot, whether that's growth and development, and obviously they, may be bringing their family with them. So all those things, what would a candidate expect from Frisco?
It's a community of about 250,000. It's significantly diverse across the entirety of the community. There are 12 high schools. We have multiple school districts actually that we serve. Our predominant school district is Frisco ISD. It has about 65,000 students. They really employed what they call a small school model, the opportunity model. And so there are 12 high schools across the community, and then obviously a number of middle schools and elementaries as well. So we have a lot of campuses across the community, and that's given the opportunity for folks that maybe bring in their family here. Those high schools are a little bit smaller, and so it's given more opportunities for people to participate in sports and extracurriculars with all those campuses. It's very family oriented. A lot of young families in Frisco, but also beginning to see some aging in place, more so in the last 5 to 10 years than the community certainly saw during some of the boom years, 20 and 25 years ago. So that certainly has also changed some of the service delivery, especially in our emergency services.
The city is politically stable. We have a good mayor and council, new mayor who was just elected this year. The majority of the council is a year or less of experience on the city council, so it's a new group, but well-intended and certainly cares about the community. There are good partnerships across the community, so we have an excellent relationship and have had an excellent relationship with Frisco ISD. We've been able to do a lot of special things in this community because of that relationship. We build partnerships with one another and then with the private sector that are probably pretty unique. And we're able to do that because everybody's coming together and doing those things. We are a community that really leans into those types of partnerships. So when somebody comes to our community, the expectation, especially if they're business or if they're trying to make an investment, it is not just, okay, I'm going to put this here and what are you going to give me? It's when you come to Frisco, how are you going to be part of the community? How are you going to contribute to the community fabric? While, we have grown really rapidly over the last 10 to 15 years, the people who have come here have felt welcomed and that they belong. There is, with that much growth that quickly, there is work to do to make sure that that sense of community continues to remain and to grow and to strengthen. So we got to do some work to nurture that, but that's true of anywhere. What's really exciting about Frisco is that the people here are interested in spending the time to do that. So I think that's really important. And again, going back to kind of the idea of partnerships, I would say that as a community, the community is very supportive of our city staff and the things that we do. You feel that all over the place. That's true because our team has earned that trust. But it's also true because, again, how we interact with the community and how we're able to be approachable and be service oriented. It's not about us. It's about the people that we serve, and we try to always keep that in mind. So that's a really important thing to see, the level of support that comes from our community. So it's something we're very grateful for. And Clay, you want to?
Sure, yeah, I'll add to that as well. Another aspect of our city that an incoming fire chief would find is we're sports heavy. We have plenty of sporting activities to do. We're Sports City USA, as we like to call it. We have soccer here. We have a FC Dallas soccer team here in Frisco. PGA of America is headquartered here. The Dallas Cowboys are headquartered here. Dallas Stars practice here. We have a minor league baseball team, the Rough Riders, who play here. So with all that, there's plenty to do if you're all about the sports. There's plenty to keep you busy. In addition to that, at least from the fire department perspective, that creates a lot of opportunities for the fire department as well, because we actually cover all of those events at each of those venues. So we staff those events whenever there's a baseball game or football practice with the Dallas Cowboys or golfing events, all of those different events like soccer games. We staff those with our personnel. So plenty of special event opportunities. We actually have a division of the fire department that helps staff those games and maintains the relationships with each one of our sporting partners there. And it does keep us busy. I think we do a really good job covering those venues to ensure visitors and the citizens that are attending those events are safe. And it's just a big piece of what we do.
I can't imagine running out of things to do in Frisco with everything you guys have going on. But talk about the benefit of being part of the bigger metroplex and maybe some of the things that are available in other areas that are close by.
We're blessed to be in one of the premier places in the country right now where, the economic conditions in other places might be such that it's slowed down growth or development or opportunities. That's really not something that has been felt here the same way it has been felt in other places. That doesn't mean that we don't have to be responsible and we have to be good stewards and all of that. But we have been fortunate to see that continued activity. That means when people see what happens in Frisco, they also want to try to make sure that they're, doing things that are equally attractive for their community. So you have all around us projects that are happening that are really attractive, right? So in McKinney, they've got a major outdoor amphitheater that's under construction. In Plano, they're actually relocating the Dallas Stars playing arena to Plano. In Little Elm and the Colony, we're right next to Lake Louisville, so there's a lot of stuff to do on the lake if you like water. It's just a really great place to be if you like a variety of things to do. One of the great things is you can stay in Frisco and enjoy yourself, whether it's shopping or hotels or sports or other types of things, or you could cross the border into one of our neighboring cities and find something pretty unique and exciting to do as well. Very blessed to be in a place where a lot of people want to be. When things happen very quickly, there can be a lot of growing pains. We have been blessed with the leadership in Frisco to be forward thinking and to be proactive. Some of the things that you might otherwise experience in communities of rapid growth, we've experienced differently and probably to a lesser negative impact because of that proactivity. So building infrastructure before it was needed, being able to anticipate the things that would be needed from a school standpoint. All of those things were done in a way that really demonstrated strategic, long-term thinking. And we continue to try to exercise that discipline so that we can see not only what we get to enjoy today, but prepare for what we'll have to take care of in the future, but what other things will come as we can continue to grow.
I was there. It was probably 2018 taking that tour. I remember there was a city employee that had been there a long time, and I don't remember what year it was, but it was maybe a literal once red light town back when they started. And they remember a time when there was a problem and they may not have made payroll that payday. You guys have done a great job of going from something like that and building that out to forward thinking and have the ability to have the top tier excellent services that you provide.
And the way we look at it is we all drink from wells we didn't dig. So we honor the people who did these things before us and try to make sure that we carry that level of excellence forward so that people in the future can also look back at us and say they did it right as well.
Does the fire department, do you guys have emergency management responsibilities, or is that a separate office?
We do have the emergency management responsibilities. And in Frisco, our mayor is actually the director of emergency management, and then the fire chief is the emergency management coordinator. But we have an emergency management division within the fire department that is run by our deputy emergency management coordinator. Her name is Samantha, and she has a staff of 2 underneath her and actually a couple of interns. So they stay pretty busy, especially in the special events arena, but they're always collaborating with neighboring towns and counties to kind of see what's going on. Right now it's hot in Texas, so we get a lot of information from them on what the heat advisories are saying. When the humidity gets really low, like in the 20s, we're kind of on a red alert, if you will, ready to respond to any outside fire that could get out of control. So our emergency management personnel are always busy and communicating with us very closely on what the next big thing is, especially when you talk about the Texas storms that come through and the squall lines. They're always on top of that and feeding us the information we need to know to be prepared.
And I think our whole team across the city, so all of the other departments, really play a good team role in making sure that emergency management is done really well here in Frisco. So we're, again, taking a team approach. Everybody understands that. They work well together. They support. It's not about, me or mine. It's about us and we as a team winning.
Absolutely.
Clay, while we're on emergency management, you might want to speak to the SAFER program and the uniqueness of that.
Sure. So, the SAFER program I could talk about for days. So, when the fire chief candidates start coming in and start learning a little more about us, they're going to be impressed, no doubt, about our SAFER system. So, our SAFER for us stands for Situational Awareness for Emergency Response. It's kind of an in-house program that we built to help us with emergency response. It's a GIS, ArcGIS type format. On the surface, it looks just like a mapping program that kind of helps police officers and firefighters navigate to the next call, but it's got over 30 integrations to it that help us mitigate those emergency responses. So it's more than just mapping. It tells us all the call details, kind of like a CAD system would do. And this has evolved over the years. Our director of GIS would say SAFER was done accidentally on purpose. It did have purpose to it as we were building this. It was a collaborative effort between the school district and the city, and it just morphed into something really, really big. But to give you an example, some of the layers were integrated with Waze. Like Waze GPS routing for your car, so you can see what the traffic patterns are like and avoid certain areas. But it also has gas lines. So if firefighters respond to a gas leak and they know where the leak is, they can click on the gas integration and see exactly what size gas leak they have, or a water leak. We know what size that piping is. We have all the storm water, sewer water. We've actually been able to use these integrations to find where some of our hazardous incidents have originated from and call the appropriate people once we've mitigated the emergency to help us clean up the emergency. There's so much more to it, and I'm telling you, I could talk to you about this for the next 24 hours. But demonstrating it to the chief candidates that come here, that's going to be an experience for them all on their own, and they're going to learn so much just about that. The fire chiefs who end up not making it, they're probably going to want to come back and just look at it one more time and see if they can do a system like that in their city.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of what happens is people see it and they're like, we need to do this everywhere. And it's more than just a software or a IT application. It's actually a tool that we can use, but we can use it so effectively because of the partnerships we have. And that's where when people say, well, we need this, they look at it, but then they realize, oh, you know what? This only works because of the relationships between the school district and other partners. And that's really the secret sauce. We welcome anybody who wants to try to utilize the program, but we also, when we explain it, they're like, yep, we get it. The secret sauce is not the program itself, even though it's remarkable and everybody would love to have it. It's the partnerships that really make it special.
I know we talked about that there's no fires in the Frisco Fire Department, and I believe you, I do. But what is the operational challenges that you think the new chief would need to know about and be comfortable talking about when we get to interviews?
Sure. So operational challenges, we're going to have to go back to growth. we're still growing. And like I said earlier, we're starting to grow vertical now more than ever. So that is a new challenge for the men and women of the Frisco Fire Department. We're excited about that challenge, and we're training on that challenge today. I mentioned our public safety training center, a 4-story training center that we practice those kind of scenarios. And a lot of times we're fortunate enough, because we have these relationships with some of these larger, taller buildings within the city, go out to those facilities and train there as well. So I think the incoming high rises and the ones that are certainly new to us but existing are probably on the fire side. One of those challenges that we're meeting head on today, but as that continues to evolve, we'll have to continue to evolve with it. But I couldn't just mention fire when it comes to operations. I'd also have to mention EMS. EMS is about 70% of what we do. We run our own EMS. We do not contract that out. So we have a firefighter membership that we encourage them all to be paramedics. I don't have the statistic for you, but we're probably about 85 to 90% paramedics within the fire department. So again, we have 7 ambulances, and we're always looking for new and progressive ways to do our business and better serve our citizens. Over the past few years, we've implemented a blood transfusion program. So we are out in the field giving blood, and we have countless cases of where we can attribute transfusing blood in the field to a life-saving outcome. So these are really exciting opportunities for us to show what we can do, show what we want to do. Our firefighters are very motivated to take on these new programs if it means it could potentially save a life or produce a better outcome for a sick or injured patient. As you said, challenges, sometimes people use the word challenges for problems. I don't see these as problems. I actually see these as opportunities that the new fire chief will come in and see this and go, these are the kind of challenges that I want to take head on, because you're already in it. They're new, they're exciting, they're not problems. We're not fixing anything. We're just seeing how we can do better than we're doing today. And today we're doing very well.
I think it's very unique to Frisco is the amount, and Clay touched on it a little bit, the amount of special events that we have with our large partner venue operations. We just got done hosting a World Cup team this summer. We've got the PGA Championship coming up this next May. It's an ongoing special event conversation, if not multiple ones happening at the same time. And obviously that has emergency management as well as just day-to-day operational challenges. Not every community faces that. It's a fun challenge, but it certainly is a challenge.
I just kind of add on to this is with these challenges, a new chief is going to be a new person, and that always changes the dynamic of a team in some way. It could be big ways or small ways, but it will be different. And so that means that there's bound to be some type of change. I think it's really important to make sure that you get to know the organization really well, you build the relationships necessary, you communicate so that change can be handled the right way, right? I think there's 2 things people hate: change and the way things are, right? Change can be like ice cream, I was once told. You eat the right amount at the right speed, it can probably be healthy and pretty enjoyable, but you eat too much too fast, you get a big old headache. As we talk about what a new person would do, they need to make sure that they're aware of what that means to the department, because again, this isn't a department to be rescued. It's a complex, high-performing organization with great, talented people that love to be challenged in positive ways to be able to improve outcomes. It's just a matter of being able to do that well is really going to be something that is part of the operational opportunities.
I'm excited for you guys. Michael, I want to talk a little bit about the recruitment process and the timeline and what they can expect from Clear.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to make sure we throw something in there too that I was impressed with the entire city on is they also have an eye for firefighter health and safety and wellness. And I know that that's going to need to be something that the next chief helps push forward as well. It's such an important topic. We mentioned, Danny's involvement with that. Those chiefs that are applying need to make sure that they're thinking about that as well. We're really excited. Folks can always send their cover letter and resume to applyfrisco@clearcareerpro.com. Danny and I are both going to be working on this project with the city, so they can reach out to me or Danny to hopefully answer some of their preliminary questions. I think it's just such an exciting opportunity. And as much as we've covered with this great team, James, we didn't even get into, they just recently opened up Universal Studios up there and have so many other projects going on. And when I look at the landscape, as a young police officer in Plano, I used to work on the west side of town, just south of Frisco. Highway 121 used to be a 2-lane road when I was first a patrol officer. I don't know if that's saying how old I am or how much they've grown, but it's really become something of an amazing community, and just the way that they are a super powerhouse city. But also when you go there, you feel like you're part of a community, and there's people who love each other and care about each other. And so that vibe is something I'm sure that the next fire chief needs to carry forward. But we're excited to get the recruitment going. The partnership with Frisco is really important to us, and we're just honored to be a part of the team.
Yeah, and for candidates that have never applied through Clear, what maybe sets us apart from some other recruiting firms?
The thing I think that they're really going to notice is we are a candidate-focused company. After you send your information to us, we will make sure and stay in contact with you every week as the recruitment remains open. As the recruitment progresses and the city starts, looking at the candidates and making decisions on who's moving forward or who's not moving forward, we actually make a phone call and we make sure people know where they stand in the process, whether they're moving forward or not. We want to make sure we're treating them with the respect that they deserve. The other thing that really sets us apart is also this PositionCast, making sure that the candidates have as much information as possible so that when they go interview for this position, they can really highlight their skill sets that are going to match the community. We take calls on our business phone as late as sometimes 9 or 10 p.m. with candidates reaching out, because we've all been in the government sector, and it's just not an 8 to 5 kind of business. And so sometimes you have questions that you need to get answered off hours. We're pretty unique in what we do, and we love the fact that we bring a little bit of a different level of service to the recruitment field.
What advice would you give candidates when they apply with us and they're coming up on like semifinalist interviews? Let's give them a tip since they made it this far into the podcast.
If they're going to our semifinalist interviews, those are virtually recorded interviews that last 30 minutes long. They'll need to know their stuff because we have subject matter experts that are going to be kind of helping get to know them and their skill sets. And we then provide that recorded interview to the city. Unlike some of the things I went through when I was going through different hiring processes, we don't have you talking to a green screen. We have you talking to live people who've been in the field. And I think that really shows the ability to demonstrate your depth and your understanding of the position, but also lets the city understand the depth of your career and also how that's going to really impact their team and their community overall.
Yeah, and as we close in on the ending of this show, any final thoughts for us and anything that we missed?
Clay, you want to start?
You bet. Thank you for having us on. And I appreciate having the opportunity to help spread the Frisco message and kind of what Frisco is all about. Personally, and I think I can speak for the membership, we're really looking forward to what candidates you're going to bring us. There's a lot of different attributes we can talk about in a fire chief that fit well with whatever fire department they're applying for. And, some of the attributes that we're looking for is really that team mentality. I don't want to speak for the city manager's office, but I believe they would agree with that. We are one team. We're Team Frisco here. And having someone who can embrace that and evangelize that throughout the fire department is going to be critical. But I think communication, having strong communication skills is also going to serve the next fire chief very well. If we have candidates out there that don't like to communicate all that well or like to live in silos, that they're going to run into some challenges here, because this group of firefighters, they like to be listened to, they like to be heard, and they like to have face time. The next fire chief can expect to see those requests come in, to have the opportunity to have the fire chief spread their vision for the fire department and how that plays an integral part with the city as a whole. And they're going to be listening attentively to hopefully hear exactly what they're wanting to hear. And again, it's going to go back to collaboration at all levels.
Yeah, I'll just say a couple of things. I've had the great opportunity to work directly with the fire department over the last 7 months and work very closely with the leadership team. This chief's going to be, to reiterate Clay's comment earlier, really walking into a great situation. It's a great group of leaders. They're working really well together, and they're doing some really awesome stuff. They should be very excited about that. The other thing, as being a somewhat newcomer to Frisco, just being here a little over 3 years, we haven't said it earlier, and if folks haven't picked it on it yet, it's the pace. Frisco moves fast. We like to say it's not just jumping on a train, it's jumping on a bullet train. And, some folks like that and can handle that, and others don't. You don't like jumping on a bullet train, don't apply. No need. But it's fun stuff, but the pace is fast, and you got to be, as spoken to earlier, you got to be a strong team player, because only strong teams can really thrive in that environment.
I echo all of that. And I guess the way I would say it is you get to lead an outstanding department in an exceptional community with tremendous resources, leading talented employees and meeting very high expectations. That should be exciting for anybody, but it certainly is hopefully motivating to people who want to make a difference. This is an opportunity to help the future, of the Frisco Fire Department, and you're inheriting something that's really good and get to help make it even better. So it's a really exciting opportunity that I hope a lot of people will be interested in.
Well, I'm excited. I don't know how you could not be excited about it. I'm excited about it. I don't meet the minimum qualifications, so don't look for my application, but I'm excited for you guys. I think you'll get a lot of great people, and hopefully you'll have a hard time figuring out which one is the right fit for you. Thank you to Team Frisco for being on with us, and thank you for entrusting Clear with this amazing opportunity. We really appreciate your trust and faith in us. If you are interested in becoming the next fire chief for the City of Frisco, visit the current opportunities page at clearcareerpro.com for the official recruitment brochure, position details, and application instructions. To the listeners, thank you for what you do every day in your communities. Follow Clear on LinkedIn so you don't miss out on amazing opportunities like this one. Please subscribe to the Clear Voice on your favorite podcast platform, and we will catch you next time.